If your customer success manager is spending their time chasing expansions, you don't have a success function. You have an expensive, highly paid, glorified sales development rep. And that isn't a problem of motivation. It is a fundamental structural misalignment in your go-to-market strategy. The line between customer success and sales is not a suggestion. It is a critical operational boundary. And when that boundary dissolves, you are not nurturing relationships. You are entering into a predictable cycle of transactional extraction. We are living in the age of hypergrowth expectations, and the pressure on customer success is immense. The prevailing dogma suggests that CS must be proactive, and therefore, proactivity means finding the next upsell opportunity. But this dogma mistakes activity for effectiveness. Proactivity, when divorced from a clear organizational mandate and buffered by strong internal processes, simply becomes the most palatable way to disguise a structural failure. It tells you that your onboarding was weak, your product fit assessment was superficial, or perhaps even worse, that the initial sale itself was poorly qualified. The CSM is not supposed to be selling a solution when they are having their first meaningful conversation about the product. They are supposed to be verifying that the problem being solved is still relevant and that your company remains the best possible fit for their journey ahead. The fatal flaw manifests when the CSM, attempting to fulfill their mandate of value realization, starts using quarterly business reviews as discovery sessions for the next contract upgrade. They transition from a trusted guide to an ambush predator, waiting for the moment the customer is most vulnerable, when they are already comfortable with your existence and perhaps complacent about their usage. This poisons the well. You train the customer to view you not as a partner invested in their long-term success, but as an inevitable checkpoint on the path to higher expenditure. The relationship shifts from one of guided partnership to that of a vendor with an aggressive quota. And this brings us to the measurable cost of this misalignment. When your CSM is simultaneously responsible for retention, adoption depth, and expansion generation, you are asking one person to hold three different, often contradictory KPI. Retention requires defense. It demands you absorb friction, listen to pain points, and validate their current investment. Expansion requires offense. It demands you introduce new concepts, uncover latent needs, and create urgency around a future investment. You cannot effectively hold both jobs simultaneously without internal safeguards, without the organizational bandwidth, and, crucially, the distinct process ownership of a dedicated account executive ready to take the baton once the CSM has successfully mitigated risk and maximized current value. The worst outcomes are often the most costly. The customer perceives the upsell attempt not as a natural evolution of success, but as an ambush, a ticking clock demanding they justify their sunk cost. This transactional framing kills psychological safety, and without psychological safety, you lose the most valuable thing in a subscription model: genuine, unpressured feedback. When they feel cornered by the CSM who is also eyeing their budget line, they stop giving you the candid, critical feedback needed to actually improve your product or refine your service. They just start giving you the yes answer, and that is how mediocrity becomes institutionalized. So, if we are going to be brutally honest about the role of customer success, its primary goal is not to sell more. It is to reduce churn risk and maximize the ROI of the existing investment. It is about making sure that the customer doesn't feel like they are paying for a magic box that occasionally buzzes. It is about becoming the ultimate friction reducer, ensuring your product usage matches their desired outcome. If you are spending more time teaching them how to use the features than you are discussing their business outcomes, your CSM is wasting valuable time and diluting the perceived value of the relationship. This brings us to the practical pivots. If you are a CS leader watching this video, stop viewing your CSM as a junior AE. Start treating them as the chief customer advocate and risk mitigator. Your internal process must isolate the health check from the future opportunity. The moment a CSM flags a potential expansion, they should not launch into a pricing talk. They must execute a structured handoff to sales, a clear, documented transition that packages the customer's validated success and potential need into a brief, compelling narrative for the AE. If that handoff doesn't happen cleanly and quickly, it means you don't have a process. You just have hopeful persistence. Think about your metrics. If you are tying CSM compensation to expansion attainment, you have successfully incentivized them to become glorified SDRs. If you want them to be strategic partners, their success metrics must be rooted in adoption depth, time to value acceleration, and retention stability. Those are the leading indicators of a healthy product market fit that allows for expansion. They are not the dependent variable of it. You build the foundation first. You don't try to sell the skyscraper on day one. And finally, the hot take on AI in CS. The siren song of AI-driven upsell is perhaps the most dangerous illusion we face right now. If your AI is simply monitoring usage data and generating alerts like, Customer X could use feature Y, you are automating the sales pitch. Real AI in customer success is about predicting friction points, the subtle cues of operational drag, the buried support tickets, the usage dip that signals not they could use more, but they are about to break. Use AI to protect the relationship, not just to monetize it. The modern CSM's true superpower is not their ability to close a deal. It is their ability to defend the relationship. It is their unique position as the institutional memory and the chief problem solver, ensuring that the customer sees your company not just as a vendor who extracts revenue, but as an indispensable partner whose success is inextricably linked to theirs. Stop selling your products into the void and start proving their irreplaceable value in the trenches of daily operation. If you nail that balance, expansion becomes a natural consequence of success, not a desperation play. Your action plan: 1. Solidify initial fit, don't ambush with upsells. 2. CS focuses on value, not expansion quotas. 3. Dedicated AE drives future opportunities. 4. Align KPIs to distinct roles and processes.